as you may have noticed, or you may have heard, there was a mass shooting recently. Uh, and the difference in this one mass shooting is that this one was done by someone who was trans. It happens. People are people, assholes are assholes, mass shooters are mass shooters, and that does not discriminate over gender or sex or ideology. It doesn't. There are correlations between some of those things, but it is people shoot people for a variety of reasons. Let's get into it. This ain't gonna be fun, lads. So, I believe it was Audrey Hale uh, went into a Christian private elementary school and killed 3 staff members and 3 kids. There was some, and the right wing has taken this and run because they're anti-trans, and there has been a huge anti-trans movement recently from the right wing because they're attempting to stamp out trans people as like their bulwark. Is they're attempting to genocide trans people because they hate us and they hate you. Fear pervades Tennessee's trans community. What? No way! Okay. There is a very good graphic that I saw that I want to share with you, and it's from Soak Done Left. It's a guy on Twitter. Fabulous stuff from that lad. Go follow him if you'd like to. This is mass shootings by gender status from 2018 to 2023 with sources. There have been 2,826 shootings by people who are cis, and 3 shootings from people who are trans. If my memory serves me correctly, if this was proportionate, if this was a proportional rate to the actual trans community, like the population of trans people in the population, the percentage of trans people in the population, this number would be something more like 28 shootings by trans people. I think it's roughly 1% of the population is trans, give or take. So the fact that it is as low as it is important to keep in mind. Because overwhelmingly, the people who do shootings are men for a variety of different reasons. But men tend to be more violent in society. That's just how it is. And that's probably due to a societal issue that we don't exactly have time to get into. This is an example of the anti-trans rhetoric that is spreading. This is some of the more polite anti-trans rhetoric that is spreading on right-wing Twitter. This tweet comes from Kingsley Cortez. If you identify as trans and/or are undergoing hormone therapy, you should not be allowed to legally purchase a firearm. Now, I shouldn't have to tell you that rights given to us through the Bill of Rights, or I should say codified through the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution don't require means testing through who you are. They actually apply to literally everyone in the United States, including people who are here illegally. I know, right? So, when people like this are saying that trans people should not be allowed to own firearms because 3 trans people have done mass shootings, you can tell, it should be obvious to everyone listening to this, that that is not a coherent argument. This sort of thing is being done because they don't want you to be able to defend yourself. I personally, in an ideal world, there would be no guns. We wouldn't need them. We could settle disputes like reasonable people with swords and white gloves. But we don't live in an ideal world. We live in a very fucked up world. We live in a very, very fucked up world. And as such, we don't get the option of having nice things, like not having to own things to defend ourselves. And the anti-trans rhetoric that has been continuing to grow. Oh, hey, look at this. We have one of our friends here. I just pulled it up. 1.4% of the population, which predict 39.6 mass shootings by trans people in this time frame. Trans people are statistically 13.2 times less likely to commit mass shooting than cis people. Wow. Thank you, Rob Stith. I appreciate your benefit. I appreciate adding your fabulous thing to this. Your fabulous... God, what am I thinking of? My brain is trash today. Your fabulous analysis to this conversation. So, Vosh has been doing, and we're going to see a lot of Vosh come up in this particular stream because the Lord debate video that I randomly rolled today is a Vosh one, so I apologize for the Vosh-centric content. Deal with it. Let's scroll through some of this, because Vosh is out here doing the hard work in the trenches. From Reuters, which is a respectable news outlet, former Christian school student kills 3 children and 3 staff in a Nashville shooting. Steven Crowder, a liar, says, "And you wonder why nobody trusts the media. Disgusting." And Vosh correctly states, "This is how obsessed they are with stepping over the bodies of dead children to attack trans people." Crowder calls an objectively correct headline, the one about the person who killed the people, dishonest because it didn't mention that the shooter was trans. Absolutely fucking disgusting. I agree. And here you have Ben Shapiro taking this as well and using it to do anti-trans stuff. If a straight white man murdered a bunch of children at a progressive school in the name of anti-trans politics, it would dominate the news cycle for months. Matt Walsh came to the conclusion years ago that the trans movement is the greatest evil our country faces. I only become more and more sure of this fact with each passing day, and more determined to oppose it until my last breath. So yeah, you start to get a good idea of like what is going on Twitter, what the right-wing discourse is surrounding this. And remember that, unfortunately for all of us who are on the left, this is just the beginning. More of the anti-trans stuff has also been coming out with some new laws that are not just trying to stop people from talking about trans or sexual orientation or anything like that, like the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida, to kids, but now instead it is being revamped to be something like the entirety of all school age people, like including through college. So no, it was never just about protecting the children. It should be pretty obvious that they start They put the wedge where they think the crack is easiest to get into, and then they flip the whole truck, or they break the whole rock. And in this case, that rock or that truck is people and their lives, and they want us all dead. They want everybody who doesn't agree with them dead. That is just the nature of fascistic, genocidal rhetoric. If you don't believe me, take a look at where the guns didn't get, who took guns away from whom in 1930s Germany.